The Ant Hefe paperwork has just come out and it is looking very, very bad for the No Jumper host. He was recently charged with felony murder. There had been rumors of all different kinds of murders that had gone on in the days leading up to this arrest. A lot of the wrong murders were put on Ant Hefe. Eventually, the right murder was put on Ant Hefe. And we're still trying to find out what's going on with this. And now the paperwork's dropped. It's looking really bad. It's very unfortunate. I'm very sad to have to report this to you guys, but the situation is looking really, really bad. And apparently the evidence that the cops have on Ant Hefe is very, very serious. So I've got the paperwork here. Shout out to Street TV. They seem to be the first people that managed to get their hands on this paperwork. Street TV, you can see the watermark all over there. So you know what's going on, okay? But I'm going to read you the whole thing, and then I'm going to give you some backstory. I've got Google Maps of where the parking lot where the body was found. I've got Whack 100 giving some backstory about the situation, and I've got some very tragic, other situations that are going on behind the scenes when it comes to the 8-tray gang that Ant Hefe is allegedly a part of as part of this situation. So here's the thing. Here's the problem, right? They're basically saying Ant Hefe is a shot caller. Okay, they're saying that he was directing people. So this basically says the detective that was, that responded to this or wrote up this report is from the Robbery Homicide Division. They've been with the department for 22 years, and they're responsible for investigating homicides. They've worked in all these different important departments: gang enforcement, crime suppression. They've participated in hundreds of investigations, suspects, witnesses, interviews. They're an expert in this, and for the last 10 years, they've been working on gang-related homicides as well as other violent crimes. He's been the primary investigator for loads of these sorts of crimes, including homicide, and this is his thoughts. This is the probable cause. On January the 31st, 2026, at approximately 10:25 p.m., the LAPD 77th Area Patrol officers responded to a radio call of an assault in progress located at 6916 Southwestern Avenue in Los Angeles. The 911 caller advised the victim was being assaulted by multiple suspects in the parking lot. So that DP, that discipline, that gang beating to basically lay down the law of the gang, all right, that was witnessed by members of the public who called the cops. And this is something I want people to really understand. All the gang members are going to be really upset when I'm saying this, okay? That shit that you guys be doing in them gangs, no disrespect, that shit's not normal. It's not normal to be in a parking lot, all of you jumping a guy. We doing discipline, we laying down the law. In a civilized society, there's no place for that. You can't have your own laws. You can't have your own discipline. You can't have your own judge, jury, and executioner in parking lots. That's why you're going to be doing life in jail. This isn't allowed. The authorities, as much as gangs, they're sticking together people from a difficult situation, getting it by any means in the streets. That's all well and good, but you guys can't be judge, jury, and executioner. And you're going to meet the real judge, jury, and executioner. Well, not executioner, but yeah. So some members of the public saw this gang of 8-tray members brutally assaulting somebody in a massive group, and they called the cops, as they should. All right. So the LAPD 77th Area Patrol Unit arrived and met with the fire department who located the victim. All right. So the fire department paramedic found the dead body in the parking lot. And again, you guys having your own rules. We doing a DP. We laying down the law. Well, what about the traumatized fire department paramedic who had to turn up and find a dead body? What about them? You know? Oh, you were lawing yourself. You guys are judge, jury, and executioner, but you ain't coroner. You don't clean up the messes you leave behind. So basically, the person was pronounced deceased. Okay, my phone's blowing up right now. I should send that over. The victim had visible trauma to his face, abrasions, and swelling near his eyes. They beat the man to a pulp, right? Absolutely beat him to death in the parking lot. Despicable crime. So the officers established a crime scene, secured the area. No eyewitnesses were located at the scene, and the homicide detectives were notified of the crime scene. So the affiant, Detective Avalar, and Detective Villarreal responded to the crime scene, and detectives were briefed by the first responding officers and by Detective Robles, the 77th Area Night Watch. So they marked six pieces of evidence in the crime scene, 5 pieces of broken jewelry, and a set of veneers. That's interesting. I wonder if it was the victim or somebody else putting up a fight, somebody dropping their J at the scene. So it says detectives processed the crime scene and recovered the evidence. The victim was in the parking lot of 6916 Southwestern Avenue. He was shirtless, lying in the supine position. I'm not going to lie. What's the supine position? Oh. All right. Well, it wasn't too... Supine position is laying flat. So the body was found laid out flat. Got it. So Adjacent to a retaining wall, he had visible facial trauma, appeared as if he'd been assaulted. The victim's vehicle, a black 2006 Cadillac Escalade, was parked nearby. So they just left this man to die in the street, in the parking lot, right? It's pretty... People saying the guy had a history of assault and abuse, that's not good. But again, you can't be judge, jury, and executioner, all right? 8-Tray, you don't really have the same system, the system of checks and balances the real courts have. So the coroner responded to the crime scene. They examined the decedent, removed property from his person, including a California's driver license in the name of Carl Welch and a cell phone. The victim was identified by the coroner as Carl Welch, date of birth October 26, 1974. Decedent had visible 8-Tray gang tattoos on his body. The victim was removed from the scene by the LA County coroner. Your affiant was approached by a female who identified herself as the victim's girlfriend, Rochelle Grigsby. Grigsby was distraught and appeared to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Grigsby told your affiant that an unidentified female told her the victim was involved in a fight. Grigsby was not a witness, but she also stated she knew the victim was assaulted by his own gang, but she wouldn't elaborate when questioned further. Detectives recorded surveillance video from the crime scene. They recovered surveillance video from the crime scene. So here's the thing. You guys are cooked, and there's footage of this going around. I can show you that in a minute. Surveillance video captured the victim arriving at the parking lot around 6:20 p.m. The first suspect arrives at approximately 7 p.m. and more suspects arrive and congregate with the victim for about 10 minutes until the assault occurred. So this is a pre-planned DP, a discipline. They're all meeting up, right? People are arriving, congregating, talking to the victim, and then the beating goes down. So approximately 9:45 p.m. it appears as if the victim knew some of the suspects. Surveillance video captured the victim being assaulted by multiple suspects in the parking lot. At one point, one suspect continually kicks the victim in the head as he's on the ground. A murder. A murder. When you kick someone on the ground in the head and they're defenseless, you are attempting to murder them. That's not a fun little, that's not a little beat. We're not whoop it. Nah. You are attempting to murder somebody. And it's no good. It's no good, folks. No good. Not going to fly. Not happy with it. No. All right, you cooked. Video surveillance captured all of these suspects opening and searching the victim's vehicle as he lay unconscious, removing unknown property from the vehicle. So now you got a robbery and a murder. Great. All suspects are seen fleeing in multiple vehicles. The victim remained on the ground until he was pronounced deceased by the LA Fire Department at 10:34 p.m. And the video suggested the suspects knew the victim. Here's where it starts getting bad for our guy Ant. Detectives met with the victim's wife, who disclosed the victim worked at an unlicensed cannabis shop, a dispensary near Florence Avenue and Normandy Avenue. Now, they're saying through the grapevine that Ant Hefe was a dispensary owner. But anyway, it says the owner advised her that the victim would hold on to rent money and keep it in a bag inside of his vehicle. She was given the information by the shop owner, whom she knew as Pops. Detectives spoke with Pops, who confirmed the victim worked at his shop and would keep rent money in his vehicle. So it says the detectives met with LAPD 77th Area Gang Enforcement Officer to review crime scene surveillance video. Lagunas, familiar with the 8-Tray gang and their members, identified one of the suspects from the surveillance video who is captured stomping on the victim's head multiple times. They identified the suspect as Johnny Gray, a documented 8-Tray gang member known as North Face. He was familiar with Gray from prior encounters and had observed him at the crime scene parking lot on prior occasions. So you guys have been known to hang out in that parking lot. Lagunas advised that Gray drove a Gray sedan. Johnny Gray had a 2007 Lexus registered to him that resembled the vehicle seen leaving the crime scene. Registration check of this vehicle revealed it was registered to Johnny Gray. Records also revealed that Gray had been contacted by LAPD on January 9th, 2026 while driving this vehicle. Detectives obtained search warrants for subscriber information from Google and for a cellular phone number linked to Gray, and detectives found a phone number associated with Gray had cellular data at the crime scene. Cell phone records also indicate that this same number traveled to Las Vegas the day after the homicide. Bruv, these guys are just not smart. Officer Lagunas, who identified Gray, also identified two other people seen in the recovered surveillance video. Officer Lagunas identified a person who arrived approximately 9:33 p.m., a few minutes before the assault. A male identified as Lagunas as Maurice Shellman, that's Ant Hefe, arrived in a white Range Rover. No visible plate. Lagunas had prior interactions with Ant and knows him to be an 8-Tray gang member with the nickname Ant. Shellman appears to intervene in an argument between an unidentified suspect and the victim before the fight. Ant is captured striking the victim with his hands while the victim lay on the ground. So you're a murderer, by the sounds of it. It sounds like felony murder. If he was laying on the ground, when you kicked him in the head, you're trying to kill him. All right. If you're in a fight, you're trying to punch someone, you're trying to score a hit. Yeah, cool. If somebody's on the ground, there's a reason in boxing the referee doesn't let you hit people on the ground, because that would be a murder. Right. So says Ant Hefe returned to his vehicle and appeared to speak with another male identified as Irvin Theus. Theus was sitting in the driver's seat of a gold Mercedes that was parked next to the victim's car. Shellman is observed pointing towards Welch's vehicle. Theus then exited, approached the victim's vehicle, and removed what appeared to be a black backpack from the rear seat. He then handed the black backpack to Shellman. So you're a shot caller for the gang. So while somebody's committing a murder, you're calling shots and telling people what to do and then robbing the guy that just got murdered. You cooked. From video surveillance, it appeared Theus acted under Shellman and Hefe's direction. Cooked. Irvin Theus was also identified by Officer Lagunas as an 8-Tray gang member. Theus is captured on surveillance video interacting with the victim before the homicide, leaving and returning to the scene just before the assault occurred. The victim's vehicle was processed for forensic and physical evidence pursuant to a search warrant. Theus's fingerprints were recovered from inside the victim's vehicle. Inside the victim's vehicle, you cooked. All right. Video captured Theus removing several pieces of property from the victim's vehicle as the victim remained motionless on the ground, after they murdered him. Theus then fled the area alone in his vehicle. So on April 27th, 2026, arrest warrants were issued for Johnny Gray, Ant Hefe, and Irvin Theus. All suspects taken into custody on May the 19th in different locations. Johnny Gray was taken into custody at his girlfriend's house in Inglewood. Gray's cell phone was recovered by a special agent during the arrest. Detectives attempted to interview Johnny Gray. He wouldn't talk. He was booked for murder. They're requesting to forensically analyze his phone. Detectives believe there may be information within the device to provide more insight into the murder of Carl Welch and help identify outstanding suspects. So this is the parking lot, apparently, where this all went down. So it's 1916 Western Ave. Okay, this apparently is it, right? This is the parking lot where it went down. And it's just really, really sad. I mean, it's just sad to think that, like, people really going out this way. Let me get a street view going. So apparently this is the parking lot. Okay, this is where they murdered their friend. So it's ironic because this actually looks so, it's not the same place, but this looks so similar to the spot where 4 Extra blew his hand off. Because that was in like a parking lot by a laundry, by a coin laundry. I can't lie, these coin laundries in the hood be spooky as hell. Like when I went to interview 4 Extra in the hood, it was like a coin laundry and that was where he blew up his hand. And it was just creepy vibes in there, man. It was just sort of creepy vibes. Hella guys on the corner, hella crips outside, mad intimidating. But it's just very sad to see this is where the victim lost his life. And again, it's all well and good, no snitching, don't talk to the cops. But like, if this guy's in your own gang, this is your friend, and you brutally murdered him and robbed him, it's no good, man. And you guys did a sloppy crime. They're saying it's on camera. They got you pointing, shot calling. Dead body getting kicked in the head on the ground. Yeah. And like, can I even see any surveillance out here? We got any surveillance out here? Like, I'm thinking surely someone's got a little surveillance. No cameras. Got no cameras. I'm not seeing any cameras, to be honest with you. But there's got to be something, right? There's got to be a little pod camera or something going on out here. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing a camera. There are no cameras on the pole or no. Oh, and you cooked. And that's why you cooked. That's why you cooked. So that is a camera. Is that another camera? That's another camera. So this entire pocket, that's 2 cameras on this pole and a camera on that pole, all looking directly into the parking lot. And this image was captured in 2023 from Google. It says here, you can't see it because my picture's in the way. But yeah, so you in a parking lot, murdering a man, kicking him to death, stomping on his head until he's dead and robbing him in front of this bad boy. So great idea. Excellent work. So that's what we're dealing with, okay? That's what we're dealing with. Now, a lot of people have been giving their 2 cents on this situation. And I believe there was reportedly some video of the incident, but I don't know if it was proven to be the actual footage. Let me find it. Okay, so I had seen this video getting shared around, all right? This is apparently from the Crime Vault Unlocked. And there's basically a beating going down in this video, and somebody is talking while it's being recorded, saying, oh, it's 8-Tray having a fight. Here's the thing, though. I don't think this is it. I think this is cap. Because if you look at the shape of this building and, like, I guess this event or a sign, like, the actual location, there's just not any, there's not any kind of, like, any kind of structure around this parking lot, which is confirmed by the police paperwork where this took place. As far as I'm aware, that does not look like the same place. Like, this is a taller building that goes up. It's got overhanging lights here. There's like a doorway there. This is like a two-tone building. It's white at the bottom and brown at the top. That's not this parking lot, right? And like, you know, yeah, there's like a sign there, and this is kind of a different color to the rest of it, but there's no kind of upper bit here. You know, this corner is like the closest you could think. It looked a bit similar with a sign there, but it's not the same spot. It's not the same spot, as you can see. It's just not the same spot. So this ain't it. In my, like, to me, that ain't it. Okay, that's not it. None of it matches up. None of these signs seem to match at all. So I don't think that's it. I don't think the video footage has come out. I saw some rumors. They were saying the footage was on Twitter. I don't think the footage is out there currently. So look, I've just checked X, Twitter, all right, ain't no footage of this, okay? If there was footage of this, we'd know about it. It'd be super viral. There's been rumors that somebody's got the footage secretly. It's going around. That ain't the footage. If that's the footage that's going around, that ain't the footage. But anyway, what I do have is some kind of expert analysis from the situation. Now, just a few days ago, Whack 100 would speak about Ant's situation, and he would suggest that he thinks someone might have told on Ant Hefe.
So could be true at the same time. You could definitely stay out the streets. You know what I mean? You could definitely tell the kids stay out your streets, but it ain't nothing wrong with visiting your community.
You're not gonna catch Whack participating in the jumping on,
respectfully,
and the putting off, or the DPing of nobody in the streets. You will catch me involved in me protecting myself, some shit like that.
Sure.
But, bro, if you doing those things, I hate to say it, you gotta keep it gangster. When I went to jail, I never cried.
Well, let's be real.
I don't think he's crying. I don't think he's crying.
We haven't heard anything.
The nigga told this weird ass
anything from Ant Hefe.
His bail went up.
We can't say that he's crying. We haven't heard anything.
And you know what? You're right. Because the spotty face nigga be lying and making up.
Did he say that was because of Ant? He didn't say. He said. No, he said. He
got the Crips looking bad.
But he didn't say that Ant told him that though.
Bro, yes, he did. He said Ant told him the reason why his bail got boosted is because of what niggas is putting on YouTube. If a ain't putting a video or some new evidence for the DA to use, ain't none of that gonna be used against you. The reason why your doubled is because they have labeled you the mastermind. Once again, if this is A-Trade driven, A-Trade victim, and A-Trade hood, who's the only could be telling the police he's the mastermind? Let me see how smart you are, Moose.
He's someone from that gang.
Oh!
What if I had to
So the got told on the first.
Shout out to Whack, that's my guy, but like, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's not accurate. Like, who could it be? Someone from the, it's got to be someone from the gang. Well, actually, the victim's wife or the victim's girl basically said it, right? Victim's girl basically explained that it was his own gang, okay? If you could argue that she is part of the gang, maybe, I don't know, but it sounds like it was actually the girlfriend, the partner, that basically spoke to the detectives about that. So I think they said she was distraught, approached by a female who's the victim's girlfriend, distraught, said that the victim was involved in a fight, victim was assaulted by his own gang. Now, it doesn't say whether she's in the gang, but like, she given some information, all right? So that is what it is.
Time by his community, did 8 years in the feds, went back to his community.
Hold on, let me push back though. Why does it have to be somebody in the gang versus him having a profile in the streets? He got picked up by 77 Division, right?
What you mean?
You think they don't know who Ant Hefe is?
You're
think
missing
they
the
don't know
point.
how Ant Hefe
The
moving
nigga
around?
that's unalived, A-Trade gangster.
I hear you.
The people involved in alleged DP, A-Trade gangster.
I hear your
The
entire
lot you
point.
in, A-Trade gangster.
I hear your entire point.
Here's the thing. Ricky and Whack are both right at the same time. Because what they're Ricky's saying, what, you think they didn't know who Ant is? Clearly they do know who Ant is, because it was said that they recognized him, right? And this gang detective that is clearly working on the 8-tray situation seemed to know everybody working in the situation. They knew Johnny Gray. The detective, right? The gang enforcement officer from the area, enforcement officer Lagunas, he looked at the video and said, that's North Face. Said that's Ant. They recognize Ant. Identified by Lagunas as Maurice Shellman. He goes by Ant. This detective, these guys be acting like, oh, Traplaw Ross is the police. Vlad, you're the police. You know the real police actually know who you are. Like, bro, you talking about the police. Officer Laguna, Detective Lagunas knows all of your shit. He done seen you guys in the same parking lot before, and you want to talk about we the police. He's seen you in the parking lot before. He's seen you there. Baitface, seen you over there. So there's a lot going on in the streets now, and unfortunately, there's been some very tragic news involving Ant Hefe's brothers too. Allegedly, one of them's been shot, and this was covered by 2 Gangster for YouTube over on their channel with a breakdown here.
So we got a nigga with blood that goes by the name Neptune the Goon. Every action got a reaction. They said Young Ant's brother got clapped up. A week later, after Ant allegedly unalived somebody from the set, he said this shooting happened at the same location, the same shop that's owned by Young Ant.
Boy, Ant Hefe, who would have knew? 1 week after you getting arrested, somebody try to blow your brother down. Ain't that something? Now, what you think that mean? A week later, after you get locked up for doing something unaliving to your big homie, a week later, the same parking lot, your brother come out of another store and somebody just walk up to him and boom.
In the same parking lot, what?
Straight to the chest. That's what happened to Ant Hefe, little brother. The way it happened so fast, you could say little social media, because for the people that wasn't hit, when they got hit, somebody went and tried to walk that boy down. So whoever it was, some people, they'll do it to your brother because they scared of you. Yeah.
Neptune said he's surprised his brother survived that long because they be on social media dissing a lot of set. Now
So things are getting very serious in the streets. Unfortunately, Ant's brother is now becoming the target of assassination attempts. And, you know, another very notorious Crip from over there on No Jumper right now, fan favorite right now, is Spalty Face. He would discuss claims about one of Ant's brothers getting shot while his other brother was locked up. So there's unfortunately a lot of bad stuff going on with the family right now.
It's a sad day in the streets, sad day in the Ant family. I guess they say when it rains, it pours. You know, I hate to be the one to make bro content or, you know, his families, but it's just what it is, man. If y'all ain't already heard, you know, a day or so ago, NBA 1 was shot on Manchester Avenue in the chest. You know, luckily he survived, you know what I'm saying? Well wishes to him and his family. And now they got the younger brother, NBA 2. He just got arrested. So he might be going up there, you know what I'm saying, and possibly be in the same cell or possibly be in the same module, you know, as his older brother, Young Ant Hefe. And it's just sad, man, because, you know, it's obvious all those dudes is brothers or whatnot. I can only imagine what the mother is thinking, you know. I got one of my son, well, the older brother, Tiny Ant, he's in prison as well. So pretty much all of my sons, but one in jail, and the one that's out of jail, he's still recovering from a gunshot wound. It's just crazy, man. You know how a string of bad luck can work, man. You know, I've personally, you know, suffered through that. I've personally seen a lot of families go through a lot of stuff like that, man. And it's sad, man. You know, my prayers go up for them and their family. But let me know down in the comments below, man, what y'all think, man. Is it?
It's unfortunate, right? So it's a very serious situation. Now everybody kind of in the No Jumper fandom is starting to wake up to this paperwork, and people are saying it's a bad day for him, all right? It says Ant Hefe's arrest warrant. Yep, buddy might be cooked. Dude swore up and down that they arrested him for no reason, though, all right? And so this is all the stuff from that paperwork that I showed you earlier about him basically turning up in the Range Rover, calling shots, putting hands on the guy that was found dead in the parking lot, all on camera, and he's cooked, okay? Who said Monica? Did they mean Monica? Yes, I believe they meant Monica, okay? Interesting. So it says, yeah, the investigating officer bicking back crazy bull on B team. That's crazy. They're saying Lagunas is the gang enforcement officer that identified Ant. Listen, man. All right. They talking about Vlad's the police, Ross is the police, Adam's the police. This is the actual police putting you away. And he's getting paid. This is crazy. He's getting paid over $169,000 for it. All right. So he getting a bag. He getting a bag to put these fools away. Okay. So you want to talk about police this, police that. This is the police. All right. That's the police. It says there were some rappers in Chicago that got arrested for a murder and the police told them and put it in the newspaper for a year that they were caught on tape. So two of the guys panicked and made statements. When they got to trial, the tape was so effed off, you couldn't tell who hopped out of the car or what color they were. You could barely even make out the car, but they got convicted because they believed the bullshit like you and told on themselves. They'll say anything at this point in the investigation. This is dumb, right? No, they won't say anything. They're going to do the best they can with their evidence that they have, and then it's going to be in a jury's hand. But it sounds bad. So once they raised the bail over $2 million, I knew he was cooked. That says they'll have a slam dunk with the evidence. It doesn't have anything to do with YouTube videos like Sporty said. All right. He was saying, I bet Ant felt cool rolling up in the white Range Rover, lol. Said, I'm not going to lie, I skimmed through most of this, and that was the highlight. Pulled up in that white Range Rover, man, and caught a body. Ant is dumb as F doing that in a parking lot like there aren't cameras all over the place. Dude pointed at the car and told bro to get that. And as I showed you, 2 cameras in that parking lot. I saw them on Google Maps, so you guys definitely saw them in person. I looked at the parking lot on Google Maps. Ain't this Ant in the back alley? Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Is this like is this the back alley of the parking lot? Come to find out, there's a back alley. This still don't look like from that footage, though. This don't look anything like that footage. Unless it was like a complete backside of the parking lot. Like a complete backside of the parking lot that we can't see. I mean, even not only that, there's a camera there. There's a sign telling you there's cameras there. It ain't making too much sense. But maybe, tell you what, give me 1 sec. Okay, this is that parking lot. This is basically what we were seeing in that Reddit pic, right? This is the same spot. And honestly, I was thinking, maybe there might be another spot in that back alley that maybe matches up with what we saw in that surveillance video, but that's not the case. Let me walk around. I'm gonna use my legs. I'm gonna walk around to the other side, and I'm gonna check if there's maybe just like another section, like maybe the address is a little bit iffy and off, but it's looking, I mean, I don't think that there is I don't think there's an argument to be made that it's a different spot. I mean, if I just get a close look at this section, it doesn't look like that's the spot from the footage either. It just looks completely different to what we saw earlier. Hang on a minute. I'm cross-referencing every angle of this building. This ain't the same footage, bro. This is just not the same footage at all. It just ain't the footage. So I'm thinking it took place right in the actual parking lot. I mean, unless, like, I'm looking at every building in the area, none of it's matching up to that footage. So I think that footage is cap, honestly. Like, unless, you know what I mean? It's just, like, none of these spots look like they could be it at all. Even if they maybe put the wrong parking lot, like, into the indictment, these ain't, like, none of these buildings. We're looking for a big, like, yellow brick building with a white sign in the middle of it with kind of low rises under it. We're not seeing that anywhere, bro. Not seeing that anywhere out here. Like, the yellow brick is nowhere to be seen. There's just ain't no parking lot in this whole vicinity looking like that. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at the back sides, I'm looking for other spots. Is that maybe they got the parking lot wrong? Like, ain't nothing like that in the area. So that footage is cap. Unfortunately, folks, that footage is cap. So, well, fortunately for Ant, but yeah, ain't no way. Okay, so back over here. Okay, people saying I don't know why people feel bad for him because they like him from the podcast. They're saying so he killed the dude off one punch. Well, no, he got to punch him while the dude was on the ground, and that means you part of the felony murder. You part of what was going on. You part and parcel of what was going on, as they say in the UK. We're saying part and parcel, man. I'm sure Ant knew there were cameras in the parking lot if his dispensary was in the parking lot, so I think the whole camera footage is a play from the police to get them to snitch. I don't think it was Ant's shop, because in another part of the paperwork it lists the owner of the shop's name, and it's not Maurice. Send us the paperwork legit. Man, I'm sick for Ant. He did bad, and I don't even want to tune in. They're going to drag his ass. This is just going to be like Brick. Maybe even a life sentence. Bro was mad, entertaining, and consistent, but he was too much of a joint, too involved. All of this could have been avoided easily. If he proves it's his alter ego talking, he might have a case. This is what the police says doesn't mean it's true. That's how I know y'all ain't in the streets and never been. That don't mean shit besides what the police wrote. And for y'all to talk streets so much, y'all clearly don't know reality. I've had police say a thing about me in past discoveries that were pure lies used to try and force a plea. If somebody snitch, that's why they question you. Lol, bet he'll be free then, right? I just feel like these street guys always think they know better than everyone else. Like, they just think, like, I'm smarter than a detective that spent his whole life doing this. Like, I'm smarter. I'll be in the streets. I'll be taking shortcuts. It just doesn't work out. So the paperwork's going around Cali banging. This is the California gang subreddit. People saying they're cooked. Did you see the part about the bag, the illegal dispensary, and pointing to the car, telling his homie to get a backpack? So that's a murder robbery. Fucked off all your motion because you want to be a gang member. Jefe only care about what the COs say. So they got Ant on camera striking the victim and giving the members orders on what to do. Damn, this don't look good at all. He's done. The minute Ant laid hands on the dude, allegedly, that counts as felony murder when the victim died. People say, I don't think you understand the felony murder rule. Bro showed up to the DP at 6:20 a.m. 4 hours early. He would have made a good employee somewhere legit. I don't think he showed up to a DP. I think it just happened out of the blue. Obviously, the dude used to butcher the most basic words, but I honestly thought he was more cerebral than he was. Cameras everywhere. The minute he pulled up and he even touched Buddy, they had him. Those Ant Hefe videos going to hit different from his cell in a few months. He waiting for his state-issued tablet. Beat him to death during a DP. What is the point of a gangbang? And then people are talking about Ant's brother being shot as well. And NBA 2, his brother called NBA, and NBA stands for some very, very, very offensive stuff. I ain't even going to say it. It's not never broke again, that's for sure. So people are just sad about what's going on with his brother. But look, all right, this is no disrespect, okay? I met Ant Hefe once. He seemed like a cool guy. If this is how he's moving, if this paperwork is true, it's a very, very unfortunate situation he's probably not going to be able to get out of. Now, I do hope that we get some more information about this soon. I'm not going to say I hope that it's not true. I hope that it is true. Like, I got no horse in this race. I met Ant once. I really got no horse in the race. But at the end of the day, I've made it clear you can't beat people to death. Full stop. Nope, can't do it. All right? If you've got a problem with somebody, you're going to have to go through the official channels. And yeah, you a bunch of outlaws, you in the streets, you in the gangs, you thinking you judge, jury, and executioner by your own volition. It's not how it works in a civilized society, folks. All right? Sorry. Okay? And Ant should have known better, because he was getting podcast money out of dispensary, all of this stuff. He should have known better. And these guys that are sticking around with the streets, sticking around, being around when someone's getting beaten to death. I'm not even in a gang. And if I'm in a parking lot where somebody is getting a savage beating, I'm getting the fuck out of there, bro. I'm getting out. I don't want to be around this. It's horrible. Awful, disgusting, mean. Okay, don't want no parts. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. No disrespect to anybody involved, okay? No disrespect. I don't want to get a DP. Can't give me a DP because I'm not involved, all right? And if you do, you'll be getting a DP from the state. Anyway, catch you guys in the next video.